There's some pretty weird and wonderful creations in the world of lures, but I reckon these Ockta jigs are right up there as pretty out there lures. These are otherwise known as slow lures or slow jigging lures. You know about the high-speed jigging where you drop a big metal lure down to the bottom, crank it back up as quick as you can? Well, this is pretty much the reverse. These things are designed to work slowly, and as you can tell from the basic design, they're meant to look a bit like some sort of squid or cuttlefish or maybe an octopus. They've got these weirdly shaped heads. Some people call these lure brain lures because the little head looks a little bit like a brain. These ones feature glow-in-the-dark eyes, glow colours on them. So when they're in the deep water, they've got that fish-attracting glow. And they've got these skirts, a bit like a spinnerbait skirt. When you retrieve the lure, they pulse in the water. I guess to a fish look a bit like maybe an octopus or a squid's legs going out. The other interesting thing about these lures is that they feature twin hooks, which are attached to the lure's body by a length of Kevlar. These are only quite small hooks, but you can see they're actually really strong hooks. And this Kevlar braid here is really strong as well. So these lures can handle some serious fish. They're mainly used in reef fishing situations, and there's various sizes ranging from say 20 grams. This one's a 40 grammer, and they go right up to 80, 120, quite heavy ones for deep water or heavy currents. This one here is a perfect size for fishing around about 100 foot of water where we are now. And the sort of fish that you'd expect to catch on these guys would be things like snapper, morwong, kingies, those sort of fish. So mainly you're after reef species. The key to getting success on these lures is, as a slow jig name implies, to use them really slowly. When you're high-speed vertical jigging, you're cranking the lure in as fast as you can. These ones, you fish them with a very slow lift and drop. So the lure goes up, the skirt pulses, it comes back down again. They're not designed to be used really quickly. They're a very slow and subtle lure. You work them carefully. A lot of guys get a lot of good fish actually by just using these and sticking the rod in the rod holder and letting the swell and the wind actually create the motion. It's quite an effective way of doing it. So really interesting design. Like most innovative lures, these guys come from Japan. The Japanese are the leaders in coming up with really innovative lure designs. These are a Japanese design. There's a lot of different brands out there now. These ones are really good quality. They've got great strong hooks. They've got the good colour patterns. They've got the glow, which I think is really important, and they've got good quality skirts. You want these skirts, they give the lure the life. And the head, I guess, is just the means of getting it down there. It might give it some action in the water as well. But you're looking for really good quality hooks, good quality terminals, and good quality skirts to give it that fish-attracting action. So let's give them a try, see if we can catch some, maybe a snapper or a moe or something like that. I'll demonstrate the sort of technique you use when you're retrieving the lure. As I said, we're fishing in about 100 foot of water. So the goal is to let the lure down to the bottom. You don't want to get it right down to the bottom because those hooks might snag up on a rock or a bit of weed, but you want it right down in that bottom zone. That's where your target species are going to be hanging out, and you want to work it in their face down in that, probably the bottom metre or two of water. And you can imagine down in the water, you're lifting that lure up, the skirt's pulsating, you've got those glow aspects to the body of the lure. So you're trying to make that lure look like a little squid or an octopus, or maybe a cuttlefish cruising around down there in the rocks. So if a big old reddy comes along, he sees that guy, he nails him. Okay, just working a little 20 gram Ockta around some shallow reef and hooked up to something, I'm not sure what. I don't think it's a snapper. Yeah, the smaller one just in the shallower water. Simo's on as well, so we must have hit a productive patch of reef with our Ocktas. So yeah, just a slow, gentle retrieve over a reefy bottom. As I said before, you're just trying to mimic a little squid or something like that. Got a bit of colour, and it's a bonito. There you go, little Bonnie on the Ockta jig. can see there that those Kevlar hooks, or the assist type hooks with the Kevlar, are really locked into his jaw there, and they could handle a much bigger fish than this guy. So, wasn't really the target species, but still pretty good. Ockta jigs, give them a try on your local reef sometime.